Hey guys, hey everyone. I just started the live. Today we're going to be talking about, I hope everyone has having an awesome day. So I'm live on YouTube and Instagram. Most of the people will be on Instagram because not many join my YouTube live. So welcome everybody. Today we're going to talk about 7 steps. I'm going to put this in the chat. 7 steps to start your business. The seven that matter. There's obviously more than seven, but these are those seven that really are critical. The seven that I teach, I'm going to walk through all of them, and I'm good for probably until about noon Central Time. So feel free to put your questions in the chat, and I'll answer them as well. But I'm just going to walk through the first steps, through the 7 steps. One thing that I want to mention here for anyone who's in here who's interested in creating content, I'm using a tool called Riverside.fm, and I'm using this as a live stream right now. So I'm live streaming to Instagram and YouTube. I could do Facebook, I could do TikTok, I could do Twitch, I could do Twitter. I can connect all that at the same time. But the cool part of this is all of this is being recorded inside of my streaming device where I'll have the raw audio, the raw video, and the transcript of all the words that I've spoken. I did this the other day, a couple weeks ago, and I had like a 90-minute live, and I probably turned that into a bunch of short clips automatically. Like they have an AI button where you can turn it into clips and have captions. I can post that long video onto YouTube. I can also take the transcript from the 90-minute recording and use that for a variety of different things. So I just this is what repurposing content is all about. Like this is a large piece of content for me, and I can slice and dice it multiple different ways and get it out to audiences. I can turn them into blog posts. I can turn them into lead magnets. There's a lot of different things you can do with content, and that's going to be part of the 7 steps. So I'm going to get started here. And these 7 steps that I designed, I mean, I didn't invent this, guys, right? Like you can find this stuff on the internet. But this is what I teach, and this is the order that I teach it in. And I try to make it as simple as possible because I work with mainly people who are busier, a little bit older, more established in life. They've had jobs for a long time. They have uh, kids, right? So busy parents. Like this I have a kit that I designed. Like everything is about busy parents, not learning from, someone who's in their 20s who doesn't really have who hasn't lived life yet, who doesn't have the responsibilities that we all have as parents, as people who have commitments and longer term jobs, and we're just busy. There's a lot of pressure on us, right? So these steps are designed with that particular individual in mind, and I'm going to get to that in a minute of how you target people, like how who your audience is. But step number one, no matter what, and this is largely where most people get hung up on, is what business do I start? You have to choose your business idea. And I believe that this is where a lot of like the shiny object syndrome comes from, which I don't believe in. I just think that human beings are distracted and they want to be distracted and they're looking for them. But if you can't get past the what business do I start, then you're going to be stuck forever and you're going to be chasing side hustles and you're going to be chasing distractions and you're just going to be looking for the silver bullet because as you get older and you haven't launched your business, you haven't started an actual business, you haven't focused on one idea, you're just going to continue to complete the cycle of, okay, I'm going to try this thing for a little bit and then see if it works. And then if it doesn't work, I'm just going to go back to my normal life, my comfort zone, my 9 to 5 job. And then I'll try something else. I'll just wait for the next thing to come across my feed. I did that for so long. I can't even tell you how long it was. It was decade. It was over 10 years, probably 15 years. And I started 26 different side hustles like that I did not finish. And the 27th one worked and it had nothing to do with the side hustle. Absolutely nothing. It was because I picked one. I finally said I'm going to drop all this other stuff that I'm looking at trying to replace my income, my one W2 income that I have with 3 or 4 different side hustles. I see this all the time. And I don't really sugarcoat anything. And I'm just going to tell you that that is just stupid. It doesn't work and it will never work. There's a reason why you only have one job, because your boss, your employer knows that that's all you can handle and that's all you should handle. If you're going to do your job well, you should only have one. So when you're looking at two or three different businesses, you're setting yourself up for failure. The two or three, first of all, you don't have time for that because you have a busy life. You're a busy parent, you have a full-time job, and you got kids and you got all these commitments. So why are you trying to chase three different rabbits at the same time? They're all going to get away, every single one of them. So you got to just focus on the one thing to chase, the one rabbit to chase. And once you do that, like, you set yourself free, and then you can go all in on that business and you can continue to just build on the steps. So number one is start choose your business idea. If you can't get past choosing your business idea, then you're never going to get anywhere. And I'm very big on looking at what you already know how to do, right? Like, the majority of you that follow me, that come to my lives, that consume my content, you fit within my target audience, right? You're a certain demographic in terms of your age, you have kids, you've been in a job for probably 5, 15, 20 years. Some of you, I was in corporate for 25 years, same company for 17 years. I was in sales. So it makes a lot of sense for me to start a business around sales because that's my skill set. And I always look at that. You might hate your job. You might hate the work that you do, but it's something that you can use as a launching pad to start a business, right? And this is what we do inside of our community, W2 Prison Break Nation. And everything that I teach, everything that I coach one to one, is look at what you already have, because you then limit the learning curve down to practically zero. Because if you're an IT, or you're a project manager, or you're in sales, or you're in HR, or whatever it is that you're doing for your corporate career, you already know how to do that. If you try to flip the script and be like, okay, you know what, I'm going to buy businesses, I'm going to buy boring businesses, or I'm going to do real estate, or I'm going to start a YouTube channel, right? I'm going to do automation. I'm going to look at blogging, or whatever comes across. I'm going to buy a franchise. It's like, you don't know anything about that. So you have to learn all of that stuff, and that takes time. And when you're busy, you don't have time for that. And that's where the cycle of flaming out, trying this for a little bit, and you realize, hey, I don't really even like this. And it's very time consuming. So when you're a busy person, we want to limit the amount of time that you're spending learning something new. You already know how to do something. Let's figure out a way to monetize it. You're cutting the learning curve down to zero practically. So now we just have to figure out how to package up your skills or your interests and make it fit your lifestyle. I have a 37-minute workshop that will help you do that. It's 100% free. If you want it, all you have to do is DM me. Just DM me on Instagram that you want the workshop. Actually, you can comment on any one of my videos, any one of my reels. You can just comment any word, and it will get sent to you. It'll get sent to you in the DM, and that's an automation tool that I have, and that's part of what I'm going to talk about with you today in this live. So if you're stuck at step number one, which is the most important step, choosing your business idea, let's get that out of the way first. I'm going to go through the 7 steps here, but step number one is to choose your business idea, and I will help you with that. I have a free video and a series of prompts. There's 10 prompts that you can put into ChatGPT or Claude or whatever AI tool you want to use, and you have no excuses because ChatGPT is free. So you can go ahead and use that. Just follow my prompts in order, and it will help you start to nail down some business ideas. And if you download the prompts and you watch my workshop, it's the business selection workshop. You have the opportunity to get on a call with me one to one for free, and I'll help you with it. Okay. Now, as I'm walking through these steps with you, these 7 steps on how you can launch your business 7 steps if you follow 7 days. Now, launch does not mean that you're getting customers, right? It doesn't mean that you're going to get paid. That means that you're going to launch your business. It might take you 30, 60, 90 days before you get a customer. It took me 120 days to get my first real estate deal when I started 5 years ago. It took me 30 days to get my first coaching client. So it's going to vary for everybody. But I'm telling you that I can help you. You can launch a business in 7 days if you really focus and follow these 7 steps. So, number one, pick your business idea. And I have a tool that will help you do that. It's free. All you have to do is DM me or comment on any of my videos, and it will get sent to you. And that you'll get a free one-to-one call with me as well as an opportunity. Now, why do I give this away for free? This is my lead magnet. This is what I'm going to teach you as part of the 7 steps here. This is my lead magnet. This is how I get people on my email list. And this is how I get people in who are interested in what I have to offer to solve problem number one. And this isn't something I made up. I have coached hundreds of people. I have had tons of conversations with people. I've posted a lot of social media posts. I've had a lot of phone calls. And this is the thing that people get stuck on is they don't know what to do first. They don't know what business to start. So I have something that solves that problem. I give you step one and I give it away for free in the hopes that you will love it, it will work for you, and you will want my paid stuff. So as I'm teaching you how the flow works and the steps, I'm also telling you that I'm trying to get you to buy stuff from me as well. But this is exactly what you would do and how I would teach you to do it. So step number one, pick your business idea. And step number two is to validate that business idea. You want to make sure that the business idea that you've chosen is something that people actually want. Now, we do that and we don't spend a lot of time on this. We don't spend a lot of time on like market research and validating it, but you still want to be able to say, okay, this is something that people want. And there's a bunch of different ways that you can do this. And the first way that I always recommend is to simply look on. Actually have a video that I've put on my YouTube channel where I just go into Fiverr. I go on Fiverr and I look and see if what I've thought of or what ChatGPT helped me think of is being offered in any capacity. That's one way to do it. You can go and look on Google Trends. You can go to the website Google Trends and check out the keyword. So like if your business was sales leadership, you would simply go on Google Trends and type that in, or if it was project management, or if it was, you were doing some type of digital marketing, or you were wanting to start a marketing agency because that's your background. Like you're looking at like 2 to 3 keywords and you're seeing what the search is for that over time. And you're also using AI as well to do that. And I use stuff like Google, I use Fiverr, I use YouTube, and I'm just looking for what people are searching about. And I can't share my screen on Instagram, but I do this in the videos that I teach. And again, guys, I have a whole kit, a starter kit that you can grab, and I'll give you this stuff at the end of the video. It's the link in my profile. But once you validate your idea, and again, I have templates, I have prompts, and I have a worksheet that will help you validate your business idea, because this is the second step that people get stuck on. It's like, okay, I have this idea, I have this business idea, but I don't think anybody's going to want it, right? And that's where all the doubts start coming in, and then you stop there, right? So usually step one or step two is where people stop. They have an idea, they think it's a good idea, and then the more real it becomes, like, oh man, I'm going to have to actually sell this thing to people. I'm going to have to find an audience. Like, how do I do all that? And then you just simply say, nobody's ever going to want this. And the truth of the matter is as long as there's any type of a market for it, they're going to want it. It's just a matter, they already want it. It's just a matter of they need to find out that you have it. And that's going to be one of the steps, the later steps that I go through. So step two, validate your business idea. I have about a 45-minute video lesson that I put together with a couple of with one bonus training, and then a bunch of prompts on how you can validate your idea and not get caught up in this, because market research is dangerous when you're starting a business, especially an online business. And when I say online business, I specifically mean remote. I don't mean that you're selling like PDFs or courses. That's part of it, but it can be anything. As long you're not going into a brick and mortar store, you're not opening up a franchise, you're not opening up a McDonald's or a Starbucks or a gym. Everything is remote, like to fit your lifestyle, so you don't have to go somewhere. Because again, my target audience are people who are traveling, missing moments, and they don't want to miss moments with their family. So they want a remote. They want to be able to work from anywhere. All right, step three is, so to review the steps for the people that have jumped into the room. Step number one, to launch your business in 7 days. Launching your business, not getting clients, launching your business. This is totally doable. Choosing your business idea, step one, then validating your business idea, step two. Now we're going to define your target audience at step three. Who are you selling to? Who is the group of people who you're looking to help? Again, I use AI to do this, and I teach this with a series of prompts. But if you're going through if you're going through this exercise of who am I going to help, I want you to start thinking about any type of transformation that you've been through in your life. Like maybe you went through like a weight loss transformation, or maybe you went through a self development transformation. Um, and you're able to monetize that or help people with that. And a lot of the times your target audience is a previous version of you. And you can the reason that's so powerful and that works so well is because you know that story and you've lived that story. Like you're not trying to take somebody else's system and make it your own. You're taking what you've actually done, packaging it up to your unique story, and you're going to find more people who were in your shoes, right? And help them. And I use the weight loss example, and I'm not telling that you guys need to become fitness coaches. I just use the weight loss example because everybody understands it. And then I'll give you some examples of my audience and how I got to that point. Okay. So the weight loss example would be, let's just say you lost 10 pounds, or let's say you lost 20 pounds, but you're on your way to losing more weight. Like you're on a journey, right? You don't have to be the chiseled 6% body fat person. You just have to be ahead of all of the people that are behind you, right? So if you lost 20 pounds and you have a 10-step process, like you're trying to lose maybe 50 pounds, you're at 20, like you're halfway there, right? So you're like at a 5 or a 6 in a 10-step process. Well, there's still people at 0, there's still people at 1, there's still people at 2 that are challenged, that are struggling. Where you were previously, you were at 0, you were at 1. Those are the people that you can help. You can help everyone that you're 20 pounds lighter than, right? And how you define those people is, okay, what was the previous version of me? Like, what were my challenges? What was I trying to accomplish? What had I tried that did not work for me? And that becomes your target audience, or what we call your avatar, like the specific group of people that you're trying to help. And there's a lot of schools of thought on target audience. Like, do you go super narrow? Do you really niche down, or do you go broad? And I say that you want to be specific, but in the beginning, you might have to be a little bit more broad because you don't know. You're trying to find your person. A lot of times, your people will come to you, they'll show themselves, right? They'll raise their hand, but you usually are making content or developing products for a specific person. And I encourage that. And it's usually a previous version of you. And again, we go through a AI exercise, whether it's ChatGPT or Claude or whatever you want to use. I just want to just say hello to everyone in the room. There's a few people in here coming in and out. I'm walking through the 7 steps to launch your business in as little as 7 days. Like if you do these 7 things and you get after it and focus, you can launch a business in 7 days. And launching does not equal getting paid clients. Launching equals launching. Like you have a opportunity, you have a business, you have a live business, and you could start getting customers. Okay. So going through the steps. Step number 3 was to define your target audience. And we're moving on to step number 4, which is now that you have your audience defined, you need to create a brand, right? And by branding, I don't just mean like colors and logos. A brand is much deeper than that. Like, what do you stand for, right? What are your values? And it ties a lot in with your offer and your target audience, but you want to make sure that your messaging and your brand in terms of your colors and your logos and the visuals align with are the same, right? They align with your messaging as well. You want to be consistent so that when somebody sees you or somebody sees a piece of your content, it's like, the person knows exactly who you are, what you stand for, what you offer, and what they're getting, right? That's what I'm talking about by building a brand. And that doesn't happen overnight. That's an ongoing thing, but you always have to be mindful of that. Like, you're creating a brand that will differentiate you from everyone else, right? Because there's going to be a lot of lookalikes in your niche, whatever niche that you pick, and there's going to be options. So why they pick you is because you're recognizable. It's like, why do you buy Coke over Pepsi, right? I mean, maybe it's the taste, but you also might just associate something with their branding, right? You might see something and be like, okay, I really like that. Like, that resonates with me. So that has to be consistent all the time. And we don't spend a ton of time on it in terms of creating it, but we build it. And again, I use AI and we use worksheets, and then you can to get all your logos and that stuff designed. You can use a free tool called Canva. We use that for everything here at W2 Prison Break Nation. All right. Step number 5. And you don't need to get caught up in this either. Like, it's not that difficult to create logo. If you don't have any skill with that, you can outsource that. Like, my first logos that I did for my business, my real estate business 5 years ago, I went on Fiverr and hired somebody. I think I paid him like $20 to get it done. And it was way better than anything I could ever do. And now my wife is so good at it. She just does everything for me. And she also does it for a lot of our students too that are in our school community. Number 5, step number 5. So let's recap the steps for the people that have come in. The 7 steps. Number 1, choose your business idea. Number 2, validate your business idea. Number 3, define your target audience. Number 4, create your brand, your standout brand, your professional brand. And then number 5 is your offer. Now we have to create an irresistible offer, a no brainer offer. Like, why are people going to buy from you? And when again, we use AI to do this, but we also you have to give feedback in. And there's a lot of different ways that you can come up with your offer. Number 1, I've created a custom GPT and chat GPT to actually create your offer. You have to feed it information. So you would watch a lesson that I give you, and then you would fill out a worksheet. You can opt not to fill the worksheet out. One of the things that I like to do is use a tool called Loom, right, which is a screen sharing tool, which is very inexpensive. I think it's less than $200 a year to have it, and you can get transcripts. So one of the things that I teach my students to do, I had a one-to-one call today, and I told him, go into Loom, open up a Loom session, and speak for 5 to 10 minutes about your offer. And this is what you want to cover. And I'll go over the steps here. And I realize that not everybody can write this down, but what you're going to look at is, who do you help, right? When you're talking about your offer, it's like, who is the specific person that you're helping? What are you helping them with? Like, what are you helping them do? Like, what's the end result, right? Like, what's the dream outcome at the end? And then how do you help them? Like, what are the steps that you would help someone? If you think about the weight loss example, it's like, who do you help? It's like, you're helping, maybe you're helping busy dads who are in, corporate jobs who don't have time to work out, and who, right? That's the who. And then what you want to help them with, like you want to help them get in better shape, right? You want to help them lose 10 pounds so that they have more energy, so that they can spend more time with their kids, so that they don't feel burned out by the end of the day. There's a lot of, it's always like, so that, right? And then the other part of that is without having to, like, you don't like, because a lot of these people who don't have time who don't work out, they say they don't have time to work out. So you have to make it easy for them. And then how you would do it, like how do you help them? Like, do you give workout plans? Do you give meal plans? Like, what is the actual tactical part of it? And again, for the people that are coming in here new, I'm not telling you to become fitness experts. I'm just using the weight loss example because everybody understands it. And most of you have probably looked at some type of help for health and fitness. The last part of this is, okay, so how you help them. And then why should they go with you? Like, why should they decide to pay you, right? To hire you as either their coach or buy your course or whatever it is that you have to offer. Maybe you have an app, whatever. Why do they go with you? So those are the components of the offer. And then you would put that into this Loom video. So you would talk about that for 5 to 10 minutes, just brain dump everything in there. And then you would go into ChatGPT or Claude or whatever you want to use. And you would say, hey, based on this brain dump that I just did on Loom, take this transcript, you copy the transcript, you paste the transcript into ChatGPT. I literally do this all the time. And ask it to help you craft an offer. Or you can use my GTP custom GPT that I made that will help you actually craft the offer the right way, the way that I craft my offers as well. Okay. And if you guys have any questions, just put them in the chat here. Okay. Put them in the comments. So once you have an offer, okay, and there's more to this, right? There's more to the offer because you want to make sure that okay, this is, you're pricing this out too. Like, this is the thing that people are going to get, like the result that you're going to promise. Like, you're going to achieve specific result within this specific time frame without having to experience some type of pain. And if you don't, I will guarantee you that, right? So like, and I'll just go through this as well because I have several different offers that I have, but my 7 day business starter kit for busy parents, these 7 steps that I'm going through right now that I'm talking about, I tell you that I'm going to teach you the 7 steps to launch your business within the next 7 days, right? If you don't have results within 30 days, I will give you your money back. And I will also coach you until you do, until I will coach you for free until you get a result. Like, that's how confident I am in it. So you're trying to remove as much risk off the table as you can and speak to your audience in a way that it makes sense for them. Like, you want them to be like, if I don't do this, I kind of feel stupid, right? You want them to feel like they're missing out on something. So you have to make it that good. You got to be careful. You can't be dishonest. You can't lie. You can't overpromise. You have to actually be able to deliver on this. So I would never promise, hey, you're going to have customers in 7 days and quit your job in 7 days. Like, that's not realistic. It isn't. But I will tell you that if you follow the steps, I'll give you the tools that you can launch a business in 7 days. And launching is just being open, right? Like, having all the tools done, having everything open and ready to go and start marketing, not getting your first client. But then I add, if you don't have it within 30 days, if you don't see results in 30 days, if you do all the steps, then you can keep all the stuff that I gave you and I'll give you your money back. Oh, and I'll coach you for free. And the extremeness of that just depends on what you're comfortable with. But people want to understand, like, hey, if this doesn't work, I need some type of guarantee, right? And there's a lot of different schools of thought on guarantees. And it just makes people feel better. It really does. Because if you buy something at a store, right, and it doesn't fit, you get to go take it back to the store, the clothes, and they don't ask any questions except like, hey, was there a reason why you're returning it? Well, I just know it. I don't want it. It didn't fit. It's like, that's how this needs to be. It's like, if you don't like the thing, you need to be able to have a situation where people can return your product. Like a lot of people don't do returns or refunds on digital stuff. And it's like I always do because you don't want people doing a chargeback on your Stripe account because that's like the kiss of death. You don't want that to happen. So if people ask for their money back, it's like just give it to them. It's not worth it, right? But you want to have that guarantee. All right. Then after the offer's done, now notice I'm not talking about like entities and LLCs and all that stuff. Like this is like the simplest 7 steps that I can give you. Yes, you will need an entity at some point. You will need a bank account. You will need a way to collect payments. But I'm talking about like let's get this business idea crafted up and packaged up so that we can finally just launch and then start and then we'll figure out all the other stuff. So launching. So now we have our offer, we have our brand, we have our target audience, we know what we're selling, right? We know what we're off, we know what we're doing and who we're helping and what the offer is. And now we have to launch. So launching means we're open for business. Okay. If we're doing the weight, if we're going back to the weight loss example, then we need to make sure that we have the stuff to give the clients. If we're doing meal plans, like we have to have that. If we're doing coaching, like we have to have a way to deliver the coaching. And it can be via email, it can be via Zoom calls, it can be via a community, like if you're on the school platform or a Facebook group or whatever it is, you have to have a way to deliver the offer that you created in the previous step. If you're doing some type of one-to-one coaching or group coaching, or you have an actual course that you're putting together, like go back to I'll use like a sales. I was in sales for 25 years, 30 in total with my business. If I were to launch a sales course, which I have, then I would need to make sure that the course was not done, but at least the first week or two was completed. And I'm going to sit here for just a second and talk to you about making courses. Like if you're ever going to make a course, whether it's a mini courses you don't have to spend a lot of time on, but if you're ever going to make like a flagship course, like a 6-week course that I have it's called the W2 Prison Break Roadmap 2.0. It's inside of my paid school community, W2 Prison Break Nation. I did not make the whole course at the same time because if I make the course and nobody buys it, I just wasted 3 months of my life or whatever it was. So I made the first 2 weeks of the course. Then I sold it because no one's going to go through the whole thing at the same time. So I went through it and it's on a drip, right? So I make the course. Actually, I made the first 3 weeks. I did the first 3 weeks and nobody's going to go through it that quickly. And then as people started to buy it and give me the feedback, I would have a survey and then I would say, hey, what do you think of this? And what would you like to see added? What's overkill? Like give me your feedback. I'm doing a poll, I'm getting the feedback on the launch, and then I'm making the course or I'm adjusting as I'm getting the feedback. And this is what you're going to do with your first launch. If you're doing a course, even if you're doing like some type of a paid digital product, right? You're selling a PDF or a mini course for $17 or 27 or whatever it is. Your first version of it is usually like a test version. And then you can always go back and make changes to it and adjustments as you get the feedback. So when you're launching, part of your plan is always going to be getting the feedback from your customer so that you can make it better. And the first go round just needs to be done. It doesn't need to be perfect because there's no way that it could be perfect because you don't have enough data to be able to make a perfect product. And it doesn't need to be perfect. I can tell you that my course, any course that I put out, like it's not perfect. I make errors in the course and I leave them in intentionally because as you're going through my material, I want you to see that like it's okay. It's okay to stumble over your words or miss something. Now I've cut stuff out that I've completely botched and messed up that isn't relevant. But if I stumble on my words or if I click a wrong button, like I don't restart. Like that's just crazy. People want to understand that you're a human being and that you make mistakes too. It just it can't be perfect, and we're always chasing perfection. It just needs to be done. You need to deliver on the promise. You need to deliver on the message, and you can always go back later and change it. Which I have done that with my products. Like I've made tweaks, I've made updates based on feedback that I've received, based on stuff that's maybe no longer relevant, or based on stuff that it needs to be just straight up updated because it was a year ago and it's not relevant anymore. All right. So that's your launch plan. Number 7. And we got some new people in here. Hello, I'm doing 7 steps to launch your business. Um, and if there's any questions, just please let me know. I'm going to go check the live stream on Riverside, see if there's any questions. None. All right. Not yet on YouTube. Okay. Day 7, step 7, marketing and lead generation. So now you have your offer, right? You've launched your business. In the beginning, when you are launching your business, whatever it is, way too many people get hung up on like what I'm going to be doing 2 or 3 or 5 months from now or a year from now. It's like in the beginning, when you start your business, when you first launch and you're in those beginning stages, the only thing that you need to be focused on is getting leads, marketing, getting known. This is always going to be the thing that you're challenged with. And this needs to be a well-oiled machine, marketing and lead generation. And you do not necessarily have to do what I do. You don't have to be a talker. You don't have to get on Instagram or TikTok live or YouTube live and talk about your offer. You don't have to do that. There's other ways for you to get known. You can do written content. You can do blogs. You can run ads. You can run paid ads on Facebook. And a lot of people are scared of that because they don't know how to do that. Well, Facebook makes it pretty darn easy. And I want you to think about Facebook for a second because I was scared of ads. I started running ads in May of last year for the first time. I had done everything organic. I built my entire following organic with my podcast, with my social media, and you can absolutely do it. But there are some people that just simply are not comfortable talking, showing their face. Like you got to get over that, right? And I'm not going to say that you have to do it. I think that it's not as scary as you think it is because I was the same way. I've spoken on stages. I was a sales guy for 25 years and I was scared the first time I ever went live because I had never done it before. So you get over that. And look, people are going to hate on you no matter what you do. So whether you go on social media or not, people are going to hate you. Like people are going to say bad stuff about you. And you just have to get over that. Understand that it's not about you, it's about them. All right, I went off on a side rant there. But when you're doing leads, Facebook, I want you to think about ads because Facebook has, they have a very, very wealthy company and they've made it so easy for you to run ads because they want you to keep spending money with them, right? And ads work. They do. They get shown to people. Like you run an ad, it gets shown to people. So Facebook ads work if you break it down to that simplest format. What needs to work for an ad to work is what is on the ad copy, what's on the image, and when they click the button and go to your page, right, or to your document or to your landing page or whatever your offer is, that has to be awesome, right? So ads work, they get shown to people. And it's a way for you to create content, create images if you don't want to show your face and do talking videos and have a steady flow of leads, right? Of people who are looking at your business. Otherwise, you're not going to get known. Because when we're talking about marketing and lead generation, like this is the most important thing. Like you have to spend hours per day getting known. People don't know you, they can't purchase from you. And this is where a lot of people get stuck and they get hung up on it because they don't pay attention to it. They just think that people are going to find them. And it's like, no, you got to go find them and you got to put all of the feelers out everywhere. And when I talk about this a lot, I talk about this with my clients, I talk about this on my podcast, and I'm talking to you about it right now because it's that important. Is that when I think about my offer, okay, when I think about what I have, I want it to be live 24, 365, 24/7. I think about a billboard on the side of the road. If I'm driving on the highway and you see the big billboard and it's, the attorneys are advertising or whatever it is, that's what I think about when I think about my offer. Like, how can I keep the lights on all the time? So I have Facebook ads. I do content. I'm live. I do a podcast. I have a YouTube channel. I have stuff that can be seen all the time and it gets me known. Like, I'm always just looking at, if enough people know about me, if I have a good product, and I do have a good product, because people have told me I've had a good product, and very few people have told me that I don't have a good product. And it's because I follow these steps, right? This didn't happen overnight. I've tweaked this and made it better and made it better. I'm still trying to make it better. If enough people find you, your success is inevitable if you stick with it. Like, that's the thing that most people have a hard time with is, and this is simply just a W-2 mindset. It's working in a 9 to 5 job is you work, you get paid. You do work, you get paid. When you're in business, you're going to do work and you're not going to get paid any money. And that's a hard mindset for people to adopt, which is why and I don't sell my flagship course individually, it's part of my mastermind or my community, W2 Prison Break Nation. The first week is about your business foundations, like getting prepared before you even go into business, like your mindset, how to set goals, how to be better at time management, how to add accountability to your life. Like, we don't talk about the how of business until we work on you. Like, we want to make sure that you are worked on first, because that was the thing. And I just go back to me, like, my target audience, guys, is me, the previous version of me, a guy who was flying 100,000 miles a year on airplanes. I was gone every other week. I was away from my wife. I was missing my young son grow up. I had tried for years to start my own business and I didn't know what to do. I was stuck. I was just in this endless cycle of starting businesses or starting side hustles and not sticking with it. And what I finally realized was that it had nothing to do with the businesses that I was choosing. I thought it did. It's like, oh, let me find the thing that's going to make me $10,000 a month or $20,000 a month so I can get off airplanes. It was, I had it in me the whole time. And the one constant that existed in all of those side hustles that I had started was me. I was the person that was present. And the 26 side hustles that didn't work, it didn't have anything to do with the side hustles. It was me. So the 27th one that I started worked, and it didn't have anything to do with the fact that it was the real estate business. Now I'm out of the real estate business, but 5 years ago I started a real estate business, but I was ready. I was mentally prepared. I had been working on my personal development for a year, at least a year before I launched the business. So I was ready. I was prepared and I was focused and I was all in and I dropped all of the other shiny objects that I had been looking at. I said, you know what? What's worked, what I've tried in the past has not worked. This is a new Brian and I'm going to go all in and I'm going to drop all the distractions. And now I'm going to listen to these people and I'm going to follow all the steps. And that's exactly what I did. I followed all the steps. I came to all the calls. I did all the stuff. And voila, in 9 months, I quit my job. In 18 months, I more than doubled my income. And I could have done that with any of the other 26 side businesses that I had tried to start over the years. I just wasn't ready. I wasn't mentally prepared. Now, here's the mistake I made, because I am a human being and I am fallible. And I'm going to tell you that I don't do everything perfectly. I recreated another W2 prison inside of my real estate business. Like, I just recreated the previous version, right? I said yes to too many things. I took on too much stuff and I ended up just really not liking the real estate business. But through that process, I discovered that I had a knack for coaching people because I was doing that in the real estate mastermind that I was a part of. I was coaching people, I was helping people. They were telling me about my story, like, hey, that thing you said about your son, about wanting to get off airplanes, that really resonated with me. And it started to get the light bulb off like, hey, these people are connecting with this story and I can help them. I know what it was like to be them and to have success. And I know what I did. And that's all part of my offer. That there's a reason that my coaching, my course, whatever it is that you go through, we start with you. Because every other business that I ever started was always about let's go into the tactical side of the business. Let's just start clicking the buttons and doing the things. And that recipe did not work for me. It never worked. It wasn't until I started to make changes within me where things started to work. Like I became better at managing my time. I got around people that supported me. I surrendered to the fact. I admitted that I owned my life. It's like, look, the first thing you have to do before you get into business, if you really want to start shifting your mindset, is to simply own your shit. Like you're where you are because of you. That was my that was what was happening to me with all of the businesses that I had started and not completed. It was like it was me. It had nothing. I blamed everyone else and I blamed all the side hustles. Like that doesn't work. This never works. It's like no, no. What doesn't work is you, buddy. Brian doesn't work. And I had to change that. And once I changed that, everything worked. And business, guys, I'm telling you, is challenging. Like this, not everybody is cut out to be a business owner. It's tough. I can promise you it's not as hard as you think it is. Everyone that I work with says it. It's like, oh, that wasn't as hard as I made it out to be in my head. And it isn't. The tactical part of work, of being a business owner, doing the work is not much different than what you're doing now. It's just you can't get out of your own way. You can't fathom for a second that anyone would buy anything from you. And I challenge that by simply saying that they're already buying from you now. Your employer, your boss, is paying you for your skills. Your boss is a paying customer. Your employer is a paying customer. The next time you look at your paycheck, thank you, William. I appreciate you for saying that. Thank you. That means a lot. See, sometimes you get good comments. The next time you guys look at your paycheck, I want you to do this. This is really going to help you with your mindset shift. Instead of, man, they take a lot out for taxes, they take a lot out for insurance and all this stuff, and I'm left over with the scraps, right? Say, hey, I'm getting paid to do something. I'm getting paid for my skill sets. Somebody thinks I'm good at something. Oh, and by the way, they're telling me how good they think I am by validating it with a price tag. So if you're making $100,000 per year, and you're in sales or you're in HR or you're a project manager or you're in finance, whatever your job is, that's what you're worth. $100,000 or 250 or 75 or whatever it is. So when you think no one would ever buy from me, it's like they already are buying from you and they're validating your skills. Further than that, they had options. When you went for your job, you had to apply for the job. They picked you. Another validation. So they validated you by picking you. They interviewed other people. They had options. If you ever got promoted in your job, same thing. They picked you. They chose to give you a raise. They chose to give you a promotion. So whenever I hear people say like, I don't have anything to sell, I'm not good enough, I have no value, it's like bull crap. You do. It's happening right now. You just need to go out and find. If you have a customer, your employer, a customer paying you $100,000 a year, I want you to start thinking about what would it take for me to go find 5 more clients like this that pay me the same amount of money? Because it's already happening, right? Just start to think that way. William, I'm going to answer your question. Good stuff. I got first 5 steps. Not sure what the last 2 are in summary. Okay. The last 2 are, well, maybe you didn't. I'll go over the 7. So let's review the 7 steps. And guys, if you want this kit, I sell this. Okay. Now, anybody who is in this live and you want it, I'm going to give you a super deal. I want you to write this down. I'm going to put it in the comments. Okay. So the link is in my profile. I sell this for $27, this 7-day starter kit. You use that coupon code right there and you're going to get it for $7, right? So when you go to the checkout page, 20 off in the coupon box, you'll get it for $7. That is my gift to you guys, and all 7 of these steps, which are, and they're all, it's video training, right? So it's video training, and you're gonna get worksheets and AI prompts and a bunch of good stuff. You'll see that on the sales page, the landing page. Step number 1 is to pick your business. Choose your business idea. This is where everybody gets hung up. Step number 2 is you need to validate your business idea, market research, right? And we use that with, I'm going to go through the steps and then I'll answer any questions. So choose your idea, validate your idea, define your target audience. Who are you selling to? Create your brand, your professional standout brand. Then you create your offer, like what are you telling people that you have, and how are you packaging it up? So you create your no-brainer offer, and then you launch your business. So we have a plan to launch your business, and then you actually physically launch it. And then 7 is marketing and lead generation, which is what you're going to be focused on for all the time. But once you launch your business, you're going to be spending the majority of your time getting known. Like, how do people, I have this thing, I have something to sell, I have this offer, right? I'm ready to deliver it. Now you just got to go find people. And that's what you're doing every single day. That's where I talk about the billboard. So you got the 7 steps, William, you good? And again, the link in my profile, the 7-day starter kit, it's the only link in my profile. It's $27. You can get it for $7 if you use the 20 off coupon there. And look, you're going to get, I'm just going to be full disclosure here. You will be offered 1 order bump, and it's my foundational training, my business training, like the foundational steps to get your act together, your mindset together before we start getting into business. Every client that I work with one to one, all of them go through that. Like, I make them go through that. That's $17. So you're still getting $20 off of the starter kit. If you just want to buy that, that's fine. But the upsell, or it's called an order bump, right? So when you go to the checkout page, you'll see like, hey, I want this thing too for faster results. And this is stuff that I teach that is going to be a one time. It's actually not one time, but it's on that page. So you could get that as well. And then what'll happen is uh, you'll go through my funnel, right? Which is, you're going to get an email from me. I'm going to, with all of the course stuff, and like, you're going to get a document, you're going to watch a video, you're going to get an opportunity to book a call with me as well. By the way, as part of that starter kit, you will get a 30-minute one-to-one call with me. It's free. So book that. Once you get your business idea kind of sort of dialed in, then you want to book that call with me so that I can help you nail it down, right? We could talk about that. It's a 30-minute call. We do it on Google Meet. So those are the 7 steps. That was good, I think. Any questions? Now what's going to happen? I have a Q&A call for my school community. And look, by the way, if you want to join my school group, you can go join my school community and get a 7-day free trial. You can actually come to the Q&A call that I'm going to do here in a minute. There's no commitment there. So let's see, I'll put this in the link, school.com/W2 Prison Break Nation. So if you go to that link, which is not in my profile, so you'll have to, I don't think that'll be a clickable link. You'll have to copy and paste that, but that's my W2 Prison Break Nation. Yeah, that's my school group. I have a 7-day free trial. All of my courses are in there. Everything's in there. We have 5 calls per week, live calls per week. We have a Thursday mastermind call, and then there's a community of people in there. So if you're a busy parent, you want to get around other busy parents that are starting businesses, and everyone's doing something different. Like, I don't teach like the same thing to everybody. I teach the system, but I teach you how to monetize what you already know how to do. You all have skills, you all have values, you value, you're all getting paid to do something. Or maybe you have an interest or a hobby that you've been excited about for a long time, and you've thought about a way that you could monetize it. That's what we do. That's who we help. I don't just say, oh, everyone's got to do affiliate marketing. Like, that's not what we do. Okay. We teach you how to package up your existing skill set and monetize it and do it quickly because you're busy. You have a full-time job, you have a family, you have obligations, right? Like I've lived that. Like, you know what I'm saying? I got a kid, I got a wife. I built my business flying 100,000 miles a year on airplanes. It can be done if you make some changes. And this is all the stuff that I teach you in my community, in the starter kit, in my courses, and just period on my social media. Like, look, guys, and this is something that I want you all to understand when you're going to buy stuff. Every single thing that I've talked to you about today, you can go find on the internet. You can go find it on Google. You can go find it on YouTube. You can go piece it together on your own. Like the reality of it is that you could do it on your own. But this is the lesson that I'm going to give you here because some of you will doubt. Well, it's all free. Why do people buy courses? And I want you to think about why people buy stuff. Like, why have you ever purchased anything that was an educational type product? It's because I can tell you why business owners do it and why I do it. It's because everything is in order. Like my 7 steps are in order, or any type of thing that you've purchased. It's like it's all right there. It's in order and it's like step by step. That's why people buy stuff because they don't want to go and you know that if you go do it on your own, you are not necessarily going to get the right answer. And you could get a variation of answers. And it might take you 10 times as long to solve the problem. So it's speed and it's the cost of your time. So I'll give you an example that I talk about a lot, which is most of you, most people, I don't want to say most of you, I'm not like pointing at you. Most people don't understand, they don't value their time. And you need to posterize what 1 hour of your time is worth. And if you get paid by the hour, you know what that is. If you are a salaried person, then you know what that is, right? So if you're making $100,000 a year, just divide it by 2,000, that's your hourly rate. So if you can earn $50 an hour, and you know that you have to go spend, if you want to solve a problem, right? If you want to figure out how to launch your business on your own and you have to watch all this course material and you got to go here and go there and listen to 5 different people and piece it together on YouTube. Yeah, that's free. But is it really? Because 1 hour of your time is $50. So if I have something that can that can show you how to launch a business in 7 days and you have all the steps and all the stuff and all the things, and it's 27 bucks, or today it's $7 if you use my 20 off coupon. And 1 hour of your time is worth $50. And it might take you 10 hours or more to go figure it out. You might screw it up. Like you got to use that, you got to look at that math. 10 times 5. Okay. Sorry, 50 times 10 is $500. I'm offering you a course at $7 or $27, $20 off with the coupon, so $7. You're only going to have to spend 7 hours watching my videos and doing the stuff. All right. So you are actually, so at 50 times 7, I'm just using math. I could be off. It's 350 plus, let's just say you spent $27 for it. So that's $377 versus you doing it on your own and spending 10 hours of your own time piecing it together, which is $500. If I subtract the 377, I'm left with 123 bucks that it actually costs you to not buy my product. So that's the way you want to look at it. When I look at stuff to buy as a business owner, when I look at products to buy, and I'm trying to solve a problem, I look at how long is this going to take me to solve it on my own? And who can I pay to get it done? Right? Like I recently bought a mini course, or I bought a package from somebody because they had one thing in it that I wanted. I didn't care about any of the other stuff, the bonuses. They had one thing in it that I wanted, and that was the thing I implemented in my business, and I saved a ton of time, and it was more than worth what I paid for the thing. Because at my hourly rate, what I charge, which is a lot, it's costing me money trying to figure it out on my own. So I either need to have somebody. It was literally, it was a funnel, right? Like I clicked it, I implemented it into my CRM, and it was done. I made a few changes, and it was over with. It would have taken me probably at least 20 hours to do it on my own from scratch. And I'm like, I got time for that. So I would have spent way more money doing it on my own than if I just bought this thing that had what I wanted in it already and implemented it into my business. So I want you to think about that, because when people are going to go buy your stuff and you say, oh, everything's for free, like, first of all, people who say that, who say it's all free on the internet, like, those aren't your customers. Those aren't your buyers. The buyers are the people who understand, like you, that time is a valuable resource. And if I can find something that's in a system and I can follow the system and it's step by step and it tells me what to do and when to do it and how to do it, that's way more valuable. And that's why people buy. That's why people buy PDFs. That's why people buy guides and courses. That's why people buy coaching, is because they understand that they have tried to figure it out on their own and they can't do it, and they can't do it the right way. So when people hire me to be their coach one to one, like, I work with people in a one to one capacity on Zoom calls to help them, like, start their business. So they'll take my we go through the steps, like, I do the business with you. Well, those people who have decided to hire me have been like, hey, like, I've tried so many times and I can't, and that was me. I tried all these side hustles, and it wasn't until I hired a coach and joined a mastermind group that things started to change for me, which is why I'm a coach and I have a mastermind group, because I really think that those things are critical when you are trying to make changes in your life. When you're trying to start a business, you have to get around other business owners. You have to get around other people who are not going to enable you, right? Who aren't going to say, it's okay, stay in your job. That business is risky. Don't do that thing. And the business is not risky. It's not risk. It's no more risky than your 9 to 5, which can be pulled out from underneath you in a millisecond, in a heartbeat, without any warning, without any type of reasoning. They don't even have to tell you why. So it's just, think about that part with risk. Because while business is risky, the risk is jumping ship and starting a business. Like, you can do it. And I don't tell you to quit your job. I tell you to do it on the side, right? Because you can. I did it. I did it with about 10 hours per week. So that's it for my 7 steps for now. Again, if you want the kit, the 7-day starter kit, which has all these 7 steps, trainings, prompts, worksheets, bonus videos, you get a free one-to-one call with me. It's normally $27. You can get it today for $7 if you go to the link in my profile and you use the 20 off code at checkout. All right. I'll see you there. I got to jump for my next call, which is a Q&A call inside of my mastermind. All right. Take care. Make it a great day, everyone.